This is part 2 of Yashar, chapter 22. We're going to go into verses 20 and on. We're going to finish that. Abram lifts up Yitzhak on the altar. And also we're going to finish Iyov. Hopefully we're going to finish Iyov. It's a very large book. So let's go into this. I hope this is Baruching you, because the body is hurting right now. And this was so important that I get this out, because we need to learn how to properly go through our storms without throwing our fists up at Yahuwah, right? No curse should come out of our mouth towards him. And Abraham didn't, and Iyov didn't, and these are our patriarchs. So let's get into it. Yashar, chapter 23, verse 20. I think I said 22, I'm sorry. So when Abraham went with Yitzhak, his son, to bring him up as an offering before Yahweh, as he had commanded him. And Abraham took 2 of his young men with him, Ishmael, his other son, the son of Hagar, and Eliezer, his servant. And they went together with them. And while they were walking on the road, the young men spoke these words to themselves. Ishmael said to Eliezer, "Now my father Abraham is going with Yitzhak to bring him up as an ascending smoke offering to Yahweh, as he commanded him. Now, when he returns, he will give unto me all he possesses, to inherit after him, for I am his firstborn." And Eliezer answered Ishmael and said, "Surely Abraham did cast you away with your mother, and swear that you should not inherit anything of all his possessions. And to whom will he give all that he has, with all his treasuries? But unto me his servant, who has been faithful in his house, who has served him night and day, and has done all that he has desired me, to me will he bequeath at his death all he possesses." And while Abraham was proceeding with his son Yitzhak along the road, Ashatan came and appeared to Abraham in the figure of a very aged man, humble of a contrite ruach. And he approached Abraham and said to him, "Are you silly or brutish, that you go to do this thing this day to your Yachid, your beloved? For Elohim gave you a son in your latter days, in your old age. And will you now go and slaughter him this day before he committed no violence? And will you cause the nefesh of your Yachid to perish from the earth, from the Eretz? Do you not know and understand that this thing cannot be from Yahweh? For Yahweh cannot do unto men such evil upon the Eretz, the earth, to say to him, 'Go, slaughter your child.'" And Abraham heard this and knew that this was the word of Hashatan. He knew. Who endeavored to draw him aside from the way of Yahweh. But Abraham would not hearken to the voice of Hashatan, and Abraham rebuked him so that he went away. Remember that. When you're going through your storm, when you're being tested, when you're allowed to be tested, because Yahweh doesn't test. He allows the test, but he's not the one who tests. And he won't allow us to be tested beyond the point of which we cannot return. He will stop it. But there's something that he is proving in us. He is proving our strength. He's drawing out the strength and letting go of the weaknesses, letting go of whatever we have left within us. And in this case, Ishmael uttered out a word, and that is why we have to be very careful with our words. He said it to Yitzhak, he said it to Ishmael, "Why are you boasting in your skin?" His circumcision. And he said it out, right? He said, "I tell you now this day, if the Most High Yahweh told me to lay upon myself an altar, I would give myself up with no complaining and roll over and do it." Woo. By our words. Now Hashatan heard this and was like, this is a way to take it out, take him out, take out the one who is the promise. It starts with Yitzhak. Yahweh knew. Yahweh knows it all. But it's almost like Yahweh was laughing in the face, he was, of Hashatan, because he knew Abraham was strong in faith. He knew, because he had proved him before. And so here we go. And so now, and Shatan returned and came to Yitzhak. And he appeared unto Yitzhak as a figure of a young man, calmly and well-favored. And he approached Yitzhak and said unto him, do you not know and understand that your old silly father brings you to the slaughter this day for naught? Now therefore, my son, do not listen nor attend to him, for he is a silly old man, and let not your precious nephesh, soul, and beautiful figure be lost from the eretz, the earth. And Yitzhak heard this, and said unto Abraham, have you heard my father? That which this man has spoken? Even thus has he spoken. And Abraham answered his son Yitzhak and said to him, take heed of him, and do not listen to his words, nor attend to him, for he is Shatan, endeavoring to draw us aside this day from the commands of Elohim. And don't you agree that Yitzhak knows what he uttered out? He knows, and that's why he went on that altar and he literally ate his words. Because, I mean, what you speak, you will eat. So he knew that he had to keep that promise that he uttered to Ishmael, right? And Abraham still rebuked Shatan, and Shatan went from them. And seeing that he could not prevail over them, he hid himself from him. And he went and passed before them on the road. And he transformed himself to a large brook of water in the road. And Abraham and Yitzhak and his 2 young men reached their place. And they saw a brook, large and powerful, mighty waters. And they entered this brook and passed through it. And the waters at first reached their legs. And then they went deeper into the brook, and the waters reached up to their necks. And they were all terrified on this account of the water. And while they were going into the brook, Abraham recognized that place. And he knew that there was no water there before. He was like, and Abraham said to his son, Yitzhak, I know this place in which there was no brook nor water. Now therefore it is Shatan who does all of this to us, to draw us aside this day from the commands of Elohim. And Abraham rebuked him and said unto him, Yahweh rebuke you. You notice how he said, he did not say, I rebuke you. He said, Yahweh rebuke you. Because it's Yahweh who does the rebuking, not us. Even the angels, right? The heavenly Malachim would not rebuke Shatan with Moshe's body. He said, let Yahuwah rebuke you. Now, if a Malachim, an angel, was to say that, how much more should we be saying that since we are under the Malachim? Yahweh rebukes. Yahweh rebukes. Yahweh rebuke you, Hashatan. Be gone from us, for we go by the commands of Elohim. Hallelujah. And Shatan was terrified at the voice of Abraham because he had Yahuwah in him. The Ruach of Yahuwah was ever so before inside of him. And he went away from them, and the place again became dry land, as it was at first. And Abraham went with Yitzhak toward the place of Elohim that he had told him, Mount Moriah. And on the 3rd day, Abraham lifted up his eyes, and he saw the place at a distance which Elohim had told him of. And a pillar of fire appeared to him that reached from the Eretz to the Shamayim, from the earth to the heavens, which means sky. and a cloud of glory upon that mountain. And the glory of Yahweh was seen in the cloud. And Abraham said to Yitzhak, my son, do you see the mountain, which we perceive at a distance, that which I see upon it? And Yitzhak answered and said unto his father, I see, and lo, a pillar of fire and of cloud. And the glory of Yahweh is seen upon that cloud. And Abraham knew that his son Yitzhak was accepted before Yahweh for an ascending smoke offering. And Abraham said unto Eliezer and unto Yishmael, his son, do you see what I see upon this mountain, which is at a distance? And they answered and said, we see nothing more than like that of the mountain of the earth. And Abraham knew that they were not accepted before Yahweh to go with them. And Abraham said to them, abide here with the ass, while I and Yitzhak, my Akid, my son, will go to yonder mount, and worship there before Yahweh, and then return to you. And Eliezer and Yishmael remained in that place, as Abraham had commanded. And Abraham took wood for an ascending smoke offering and placed it upon his son Yitzhak. And he took the fire and the knife, and they both went to that place. There's a song. How does it go? Abraham, Abraham, take your son, take your blade, take your rope, 3 long nights, 3 long days, and approach to the mountain of Yahweh. You have been here times before, in your dreams, in your sleep, in your dreams, reality. Teach me to love. Oh, teach me to love. Oh. And you know who sings that? Matis Yahu. Ooh. Ooh. It's a very short song, and it is so powerful. So amazing. And when they were going along, Yitzhak said to his father, behold, I see here the fire and the wood, and where then is the lamb that is to be the ascending smoke offering before Yahweh? And Abraham answered his son Yitzhak, saying, Yahweh has made the choice of you, my son, to be a perfect ascending smoke offering instead of a lamb. And Yitzhak said unto his father, I will do all that Yahweh spoke to you with joy and cheerfulness of heart. He remembered what he said. And Abraham again said unto Yitzhak his son, is there in your heart any thought or counsel concerning this, which is not proper? Tell me, my son, I pray you. Oh, my son, conceal it not from me. And Yitzhak answered his father Abraham and said unto him, O my father, as Yahweh lives, as your nefesh lives, your soul, there is nothing in my heart to cause me to deviate either to the right or to the left from the word that has been spoken to you. Neither limb nor muscle has moved or stirred at this, nor is there in my heart any thought or evil counsel concerning this. But I am of joyful and cheerful heart in this matter. And I say, Baruch is Yahuwah, who has this day chosen me to be an ascending smoke offering before him. And Abraham greatly rejoiced at the words of Yitzhak, and they went on, and they came together to the place that Yahuwah had spoken of. And Abraham approached to build the altar in this place, and Abraham was weeping, and Yitzhak took stones and mortar until they all were finished building the altar. And Abraham took the wood and placed it in order upon the altar which he had built, and he took his son Yitzhak and bound him in order to place him upon the wood which was upon the altar, to slay him for an ascending smoke offering before Yahweh. And Yitzhak said to his father, bind me securely, and then place me upon the altar, lest I should turn and move and break loose from the force of the knife upon my flesh, and thereby profane the ascending smoke offering. And Abraham did so. And Yitzhak still said to his father, O my father, when you shall have slain me and burnt me for an offering, take with you that which shall remain of my ashes to bring to Sarah my mother, and say to her, This is the sweet smelling savor of Yitzhak. But do not tell her this, if she should sit near a well or upon any high place, lest she should cast her nefesh, her soul, after me and die. And Abraham heard the word of Yitzhak, and he lifted up his voice and he wept with Yitzhak. He spoke these words, and Abraham's tears gushed down upon Yitzhak, his son. And Yitzhak wept bitterly, and he said to his father, Hasten you, O my father, and do with me the will of Yahuwah Eloheinu. And he has commanded you. And the hearts of Abraham and Yitzhak rejoiced at this thing which Yahuwah had commanded them, but the eye wept bitterly while the heart rejoiced. And Abraham bound his son Yitzhak and placed him on the altar upon the wood, and Yitzhak stretched forth his neck upon the altar before his father. And Abraham stretched forth his hand to take the knife to slay his son, as an ascending smoke offering before Yahuwah. And at that time, the Malachim, the angel of mercy, came before Yahuwah. Who do you think that is? That's Yahusha, his right hand, and spoke to him concerning Yitzhak, saying, O Yahuwah, you are merciful and compassionate. You are a Malach, a king, over all that you have created in the Shamayim, the heaven, and the Eretz, the earth. And you support them all. Give therefore ransom and redemption instead of your servant Yitzhak, and pity and have compassion upon Abraham and Yitzhak his son, who are this day performing your commands. Have you seen, O Yahuwah, how Yitzhak the son of Abraham, your servant, is bound to the slaughter like an animal? Now therefore let your pity be roused before them, O Yahuwah, who stands for us in between the adversary and the Father, our Heavenly Father, Yahusha. He is fighting for us when we're going through. He is fighting for us when we're in our tests, we are in our waters, when we are up against so much. He's fighting for you. Hold on, brothers and sisters. He's fighting for you. I guarantee it. Whoever Baruka bless Yeshriel, Israel, will be Barukah bless. And whoever curse Yisrael, Israel, will be cursed. Thus says Yahuwah. And this is why we ought to pray for all of those who have no idea what they're doing. Forgive them, Father. They know not what they're doing. At that time, Yahuwah appeared unto Abraham and called to him from the Shamayim and said to him, Lay not your hand upon the lad, neither do anything unto him, for I know that you fear Elohim in performing this act, and in not withholding your son, your Yachid, his beloved, from me. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, a ram was caught in a thicket by his horns, that he was the ram which Yahuwah Elohim had created from the Eretz, and the day that it was made earth and heaven. For Yahuwah had prepared this ram from that day to be an ascending smoke offering instead of Yitzhak. And this ram was advancing to Abraham when Shaitan caught him and took hold of him and entangled him, his horns, in the thicket, and that he might not advance to Abraham, in order that Abraham might slay his son. And Abraham, seeing the ram advancing to him, Shaitan withholding him, fetched him and brought him before the altar. And he loosened his son Yitzhak from the binding, and he put that ram in its stead. And Abraham killed the ram upon the altar and brought it up as an ascending smoke offering in the place of his son Yitzhak. And Abraham sprinkled some of the blood of the ram on the altar, and he exclaimed and said, "This is the place of my son, and may this be considered this day as the blood of my son before Yahweh." And all that Abraham did on this occasion by the altar, he would exclaim and say, "This is the room of my son, and may this be the considered before Yahweh in place of my son." And Abraham finished the whole of the service by the altar, and the service was accepted before Yahweh and was accounted as if it had been Yitzhak. And Yahweh baruched Abraham and his seed on that day. And Shaitan went to Sarah. Oh, he wasn't done yet. Come on. And he appeared to her in the figure of an old man, very humble and meek. And Abraham was engaged in the ascending smoke offering before Yahweh. And he said unto her, "Do you not know all the work that Abraham had made with your Akid this day? He took Yitzhak, built an altar, and killed him, and brought him up as a sacrifice upon that altar. And Yitzhak cried and wept before his father, and he looked not at him, neither did he have compassion over him." And Shaitan repeated these words. He repeated. You know that little voice inside your head, that condemnation? Condemnation is not of Yahuwah. Conviction is of Yahuwah. And it has love in it. Condemnation, there is no love. It's a repeated, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. Give up, give up, give up. You're this, you're that. And it's on repeat until you give in and you have no hope. And then you're the person inside the cage with the door open and the key sticking out of the keyhole. But the door's open. The key was given to you by Yahusha to stomp on anything that is not of you, that is not of Yahuwah. He gave you the key. There's no reason to be hopeless. Even now on this day that I am going through a lot. I am going through the fire. I'm going through woo! Yahweh is here. He is carrying us. We are on the stormy waters, the stormy seas, and we are holding his hands. And I'm not losing faith. I'm not going to look to the right or to the left. I'm going to stay on the way. And I'm going to hold fast to the commandments of Yahweh. And I am going to keep the promises which come to us through the Son Yahusha, HaMashiach. That is us. We are warriors for Yahweh. And Shaitan really wants us to give up because he knows how important we are. So beat him down, beat him down, beat him down. He was on repeat to Sarah. Repeat. And he went away from her, and Sarah heard all the words of Hashatan, and she imagined him to be an old man from amongst the sons of men who had been with her son, and had come and told her these things. And Sarah lifted up her voice and wept and cried out bitterly on the account of her son. And she threw herself upon the ground, and she cast dust upon her head. And she said, "Oh, my son, Yitzhak, my son. Oh, that I had this day died instead of you." And she continued to weep and said, "It grieves me for you, O my son Yitzhak. Oh, that I had died this day in your stead." And still continued to weep and said, "It grieves me for you after that I have reared you, and have brought you up. Now my joy is turned into mourning over you. I that have a longing for you, and cried and prayed to Elohim till I bore you at 90 years old. Now have you served this day for the knife to a fire, to be made an offering? But I console myself with you, my son, in its being the word of Yahuwah, for you did perform the command of your Elohim. For who can transgress the word of Elohim, in whose hands is the nefesh of every living creature? You are just, O Yahuwah Eloheinu, for all your works are good and righteous. For I also am rejoiced with your word which you did command, and while my eyes weep bitterly, my heart rejoices. She didn't curse Yahweh. Because her heart was right and walking with the Most High. She was standing on the rock. These storms came, these tempests came, and though her eyes were weeping over the memories of her son, her heart rejoiced because he kept the commands of Yahuwah. And Sarah laid her head upon the bosom of her handmaids, and she became as still as a stone. She afterward rose up and went about making inquiries till she came to Hebron. And she inquired of all those who she met walking along the road, and no one could tell her what had happened to her son. And she came with her maidservant and men servants to Kiryat Arba, which is in Sharon, or Hebron, and she asked concerning her son. And she remained there while she sent some of her servants to seek where Avraham had gone with Yitzhak. They went to seek him in the house of Shem and Eber, and they could not find him. And they sought throughout the land, and he was not there. And behold, Shaitan came to Sarah in the shape of an old man. And he came and stood before her, and he said unto her, I spoke falsely unto you. I've read this before, so this always gets me. For Abraham did not kill his son, and he is not dead. And when she heard the word, her joy was so exceedingly violent on the account of her son that her soul went out through joy. She died and was gathered to her people. When Abraham had finished his service, he returned with his son Yitzhak to his young men. And they rose up and they went together to Beersheba, and they came home. And Abraham sought for Sarah and could not find her. And he made inquiries concerning her, and they said unto him, She went to Hebron to seek you, where you have gone. For thus was she informed. And Abraham and Yitzhak went to her to Hebron, and when they found that she was dead, they lifted up their voices, and they wept bitterly over her. And Yitzhak fell upon his mother's face and wept over her. And he said, Oh, my mother, how have you left me, and where have you gone? Oh, how have you left me? And Abraham and Yitzhak wept greatly, and all of their servants wept with them on the account of Sarah. And they mourned for her a great mourning, a heavy mourning. And the life of Sarah was 127 years, and Sarah died. And Abraham rose up from before his dead to seek a burial place to bury his woman Sarah. And he went and he spoke to the children of Heth, the inhabitants of the land, saying, I am a stranger and a sojourner with you in your land. Give me a possession of a burial place in this land, that I may bury my dead from before me. And the children of Heth said unto Abraham, Behold, the land is before you. In the choice of your sepulchres, bury your dead. For no man shall withhold you from burying your dead, because that's Torah. Okay? Torah, you have a dead body, you need to bury it. That's cover it with dirt or put it in the sepulcher, is what they did. And Abraham said unto them, If you are agreeable to this, go and entreat me to Ephron, the son of Hur, requesting that he may give me a cave of Machpelah, which is in the end of this field, and I will purchase it from him whatsoever he desire for it. And they went back and forth, because he said, I will not sell you this for very very much. And Abraham was like, oh no, equal weights and equal measures. That's Torah. I want to pay for it what it's worth, and I'm going to pay for it what it's worth. Period. And he did. So, and they did not curse Yahweh. They mourned, their eyes cried, but their hearts rejoiced to Yahuwah. Iyov 16. Wow. Let me just take a sip of my drink. And just so you know, I'm not drinking alcohol. This is ginger beer, and it's kosher. It's a local company here where I live, and they make natural drinks, and I like ginger. And ginger's like the best for your tummy. So just so you know, it's not real beer. They just call it ginger beer. I don't drink. I am a Nazarite. So I took that vow. I do not drink. And I don't cut my hair. All right. So Iyov 16, Job. Then Iyov answered and said, I have heard many such things. Miserable comforters are ye all, to his friends. Shall vain words have an end? Or what emboldens you that you answer? I also could speak as you do if your nefesh were in my nefesh's stead, if your soul was in my instead of my soul. I could heap up words against you and shake my head at you, but I wouldn't strengthen you with my mouth. I'm sorry, but I would. This is Iyov. I wouldn't be a miserable comfort to you. I would strengthen you. I wouldn't pass false judgments unto you. I wouldn't speak for the Most High. All of these false judgments when your soul is not my soul. So how can you even dare to try to utter these awful things about me? That's what he's saying. How many of us are going through that with our own members of Yahusha? Come on. We got to be better than this, people. We are to lift one another up, to be compassionate with one another. Though I speak, my grief is not assuaged. And though I bear, what am I eased? But now he has made me weary. You have made desolate of my company, and you have filled me with wrinkles, which is a witness against me. My leanness rising up in me bears witness to my face. He tears me in his wrath, who hates me. He gnashes upon me with his teeth. My enemy sharpens his eyes upon me. He's talking about his friends, who are also Torah-following friends. They have gaped upon me with their mouth. They have smitten me upon the cheek. Reproachfully, they have gathered themselves together against me. Yahweh has delivered me to the perverse and turned me over into the hands of these wicked. I was at ease, but he has broken me asunder. He has also taken me by the neck and shaken me to pieces and set me up for his mark. His arches compass me round about. He cleaves my mind asunder and does not spare. He pours out my gall upon the earth. The gall is in your gallbladder. He breaks me with breach upon breach. He runs upon me like a giant. I have sewed sackcloth upon my skin and defiled my horn in the dust. My face is foul with weeping, and on my eyelids is the shadow of death. Not for any injustice in my hands. Also my prayer is pure. O earth, O earth, cover not my blood, and let my cry have no place. Also now, behold, my witness is in the Shamayim, is in the heaven, and my record is on high. My friends scorn me, but my eyes pour out tears upon Eloha. Oh, that one might plead for a man with Eloha, as a man pleads for his neighbor. When a few years are come, then I shall go the way whence I shall not return. Love thy neighbor. My breath is corrupt, my days are extinct, the graves are ready for me. Are there not mockers with me? And does not my eye continue in their provocation? Lay down now, put me in a surety with you. Who is he that will strike hands with me? For you have hid their heart from understanding. Therefore shall you not exalt them. He that speaks flattery to his friends, even the eyes of his children shall fail. He has made me also a byword of the people, and aforetime I was a tabaret. My eye also is dim by reason of sorrow, and all the members are as of shadow. Yasharim, men shall be astonished at this, and the innocent shall stir up himself against the hypocrite. The righteous also shall hold on his way, and he that has clean hands shall be stronger and stronger. But as for you all, do you return and come now? For I cannot find one wise man among you. My days are past, my purpose are broken off, even the thoughts of my heart. They change the night into day, the light is short because of darkness. If I wait, Sheol is in my house. I have made my bed in the darkness. I have said to corruption, you are my father. To the worm, you are my mother and my sister. And where is now my hope? As for my hope, who shall see it? They shall go down to the bars of the pit when our rest together is in the dust. Then answered Bildad the Shuhite and said, how long will it be? Ye make an end of words. Mark, and afterwards we will speak. Wherefore, are we counted as beasts and reputed vile in your sight? He tears himself in his anger. Shall the earth be forsaken for you? And shall the rock be removed out of its place? Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. The light shall be dark in the tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out on him. The steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast him down. For he is cast into the net by his own feet, and he walks upon a snare. The jinn shall say, take him by the heel, and the robber shall prevail against him. The snare is laid up for him in the ground, and a trap for him is in the way. Terror shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him his feet. His strength shall be hunger-bitten, and destruction shall be ready at his side. It shall devour the strength of his skin, even the firstborn of death shall devour his strength. His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors. It shall dwell in his tabernacle, because it is none of him. Brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation. His roots shall be dried up beneath, and above shall his branch be cut off. His remembrance shall perish from the earth, and he shall no more. He shall have no name in the street. He shall be driven from the light into darkness and chased out of the world. He shall neither have a son nor nephew among his people, nor any remaining in his dwellings. They that come from him shall be astonished on this day, and they went before her frightened. Surely such are the dwellings of the wicked, and this is the place of him that knows not Yahweh. Why is he saying this to his righteous friend? Then Iyov answered and said, how long will you vex my soul and break me in pieces with words? These 10 times have you reproached me. You are not ashamed that you make yourself strange to me. And be it indeed that I have erred, my error remains with myself. And if indeed you will magnify yourself against me and plead against me my reproach, know now that Eloha has overthrown me and has compassed me with the net. Behold, I cry out of wrong, but I am not heard. I cry out aloud, but there is no judgment. He has fenced up my way that I cannot pass, and he has set the darkness in my path. He has stripped me of my glory and taken the crown from my head. He has destroyed me on every side, and I am gone. And my hope has been removed like a tree. He has also kindled the wrath against me, and he counts me unto him as one of his enemies. Do you see what he's doing? Even though he's saying, I am innocent, leave me alone, you guys are unjustly coming after me. His friends are breaking him down, breaking him down, breaking him down, breaking him down, to the point where he doesn't curse Yahweh, but he's blaming Yahweh for doing this to him when it wasn't Yahweh that did it. Yahweh allowed Hashatan to do it. His troops come together and raise up their way against me and encamp round about my tabernacle. He has put my brethren far from me, and my acquaintance are truly estranged from me. My kinsfolk have failed, and my familiar friends have forgotten me. This is where I'm at. Everybody in our families, not everybody, but mostly everybody, and our friends, except for 2, maybe 3, have completely let us go. The storms come and beat on us, and they run, and then they rejoice. And then they say, well, I'm going to be here. I'm here. And they're not. So it's like, don't you know that saying, what can I do for you? And I'll be here for you is a verb. It's an action. Like love is an action. These people are not of Yahusha. If you are from Yahusha, you will be the hands and the feet of the Most High. That is what he commanded us to be. We shouldn't be always just praying. We should be acting, going, seeking how we can help, seeking how we can give, seeking, finding something. Some of us can't do that, and that's okay. But you should have compassion on your brothers and sisters and be there. They that dwell in my house and my maids count me for a stranger. I am an alien in their sight. I have called my servant, and he gave me no answer. I entreated him with my mouth. My breath is strange to my woman. Even his wife is like, ugh. Though I entreated for the children's sake of my own body, yea, young children despised me. I arose, and they spoke against me. All my inward friends abhor me. How many of us are going through this? And they whom I love have turned against me. My bone cleaves to my skin, and to my flesh. I am escaped from the skin of my teeth. Have pity on me. Have pity on me, O ye my friends. For the hand of Eloha has touched me. Why do you persecute me as Yahweh, and are not satisfied with my flesh? Why do you persecute me as if you are Yahuwah? Oh, that my words were not written. Oh, that they were printed in a sefer, in a roll, in a scroll. That they were graven with an iron pen and lead into a rock forever. For I know that my Redeemer lives, and that he shall stand in the latter days upon this earth. Hallelujah. And though after my skin worms destroy this body, yet in my flesh shall I see Eloah. Alua, Alua, your mighty one Yahweh, whom I shall see for myself, and my eyes shall behold, and not another. Though my mind be consumed within me, but you should say, why persecute we him, seeing the root of the matter is found in me? Be ye afraid of the sword, For wrath brings the punishment of the sword, that you may know this is a judgment. Then answered Sophar, the Nachamithi, and said, excuse me, well then, therefore do my thoughts cause me to answer. It's like, please stop answering. But they're not. Because their pride. And for this I make haste. I have heard the check of my reproach, and the ruach of my understanding causes me to answer. Know you not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of a hypocrite but for a moment? Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. Why are you saying this to Iyov? They which have seen him shall say, where is he? He shall fly away as a dream, and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. The eye also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him. His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. His bones are full of the sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. Though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue, though he spare it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth, yet his meat is his bowels, in his bowels is turned, and it is gall of asps within him. He has swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. Yahweh shall cast them out of his belly. He shall suck the poison of asps, the viper's tongue shall slay him. He shall not see the rivers, the floods of the brooks of the honey and the butter. They that which he be labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be. And he has oppressed and has forsaken the poor, because he has violently taken away a house which he not built. And surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which is desired. There shall not of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods. And in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in his straits, and every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, Elohim shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. It is drawn, and it comes out of the body. Yea, the glittering sword comes out of its gall. Terrors are upon him, and all the darkness shall be hid in the secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill within him that is left in the tabernacle. The heavens, the Shamayim, shall reveal the iniquity, and the Eretz, the earth, shall rise up against him. The increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall flow away on the day of his wrath. This is the portion of the wicked man from Elohim, and the heritage appointed unto him by Yahweh. Well, he's correct for those who are wicked and refuse to follow the ways of Yahuwah. Sure. But why are you saying this to someone who needs you, who is righteous? You know what I mean? It's like, what? Where? What? Like, are you kidding me? But Iyov answered and said, hear diligently my speech, and let this be your consolations. Suffer me that I may speak, and after that I have spoken, mock on. He's like, go ahead, mock on. You're heaping up words that you will eat. That's what he's saying. By the measure you judge, the judgment will be measured upon you. So go ahead, keep doing it. That's what he's saying. Excuse me. My nose is itchy. Okay. Suffer me that speak, and after that I have spoken, mock on. As for me is my complaint to man, And if it were so, why should not my ruach be troubled? Mark me and be astonished, and lay your hand upon your mouth. Even when I remember, I am afraid, and trembling takes hold of my flesh. Wherefore do the wicked live and become old, yea, are mighty in power? Their seed is established in their sight with them, and their offspring before their eyes. Their houses are safe from fear, neither is the rod of the Alua upon them. Their bull genders and fails not. Their cow calves, say that 5 times fast, and cast not her calf. They send forth their little one like a flock, and their children dance. They take the timbrel and the harp, and they rejoice at the sound of the flute. They spend their days in wealth, and in a moment go down to Sheol. Therefore they say unto Alua, depart from us, for we desire not the knowledge of your ways. What is Al Shaddai? That we should serve him. So he's telling them, listen, the wicked says these things, but I don't. I have never said these things. So why are you telling me that this is going to be my portion because all this has befallen me? You think I'm a wicked person and I'm hiding something. It's like, cover your mouth. Doesn't Sirach say, if you don't have any understanding, to cover your mouth? Doesn't it say that? It does. What is Al Shaddai that we should serve him? And what profit should we have? If we pray unto him, lo, their good is not in their hand. The counsel of the wicked is far from me. How oft is the candle of the wicked put out, and how oft comes their destruction upon them? Elohim distributes sorrows in his anger. They are as stubble before the wind, and as chaff that the storm carries away. Alua lays up his iniquity for his children. He rewards him, and he shall know it. His eyes shall see his destructions, and he shall drink the wrath of Alua al Shaddai. For what pleasure he is in the house of after him, when the number of his months is cut off in his midst. Shall any teach Yahweh's knowledge, seeing he judges those that are high? One dies in his full strength, being wholly at ease and quiet. His pails are full of milk, and his bones are moistened with marrow. And another dies in his bitterness of his ruach, in his nefesh, and never eats with pleasure. They shall lie down alike in the dust, and the worms shall cover them. Behold, I know your thoughts, and the devices which you wrongfully imagined against me. Which you wrongfully imagine against me. For you say, where is the house of this prince? And where are the dwelling places of the wicked? Have you not asked them that go by the way? And do you not know their tokens? That the wicked is reserved to the day of destruction? They shall be brought forth to the day of wrath. Who shall declare his way to his face? Ooh. And who shall repay him what he has done? Yet shall he be brought to the grave, and shall remain in a tomb. Their clods are in the valley, and shall be sweet unto him, and every man shall draw after him, as there is an innumerable before him. There's many of them that go. How then comfort ye me in vain, seeing in your answers there remains falsehood? Then Eliphaz the Teami answered and said, Can a man be profitable unto Yah, as he that is wise may be profitable unto himself? It's like, go away already, right? Can you imagine Iyov right now? He's just like, oh my gosh, why are you here, right? Is it any pleasure to Alua, my Al Shaddai, that you are righteous? Or is it a gain to him that you may make your ways perfect? Will he reprove you for fear of you? Will he enter into you a judgment? Is not your wickedness great? What? and your iniquities infinite? It's like, are you Yahweh now? For you have taken a pledge from your brother for naught, and stripped the naked of your clothing. You have not given water to the weary to drink, and you have withheld bread from the hungry. These are intense judgments that are such falsehood. No wonder why Yahweh came with fury against the friends. But as for the mighty man, he had the eretz, the earth, and the honorable man dwelt in it. You have sent widows away empty, and the arms of the fatherless have been broken. Come on. Therefore, snares are around about you, and sudden fear troubles you, or darkness that you cannot see. An abundance of waters cover you. Is not Eloha in the height of the Shamayim, and behold the height of the stars? How high are they? And you say, how does Alua know? Can he judge through the dark cloud? Thick clouds are a covering to him, and he sees not. What? And he marked the old way which wicked men have trodden, which were cut down out of time, whose foundation was overflown with a flood, which said unto all, depart from us. And what can El Shaddai do for them? Yet he filled their houses with good things. But the counsel of the wicked is far from me. The righteous see it and are glad, and the innocent laugh them to scorn. Whereas our substance is not cut down, but the remnant of them the fire consumes. Acquaint now yourself with him, and be at shalom. Thereby good shall come unto you. Receive, I pray you, the Torah from his mouth, and lay up the words in your heart. If you return to Yahuwah, he didn't even walk away. He hasn't even cursed Yahuwah. And he keeps telling his friends, hello, I know exactly, I'm as wise as you are in the Torah, and I'm literally telling you the Torah, but it's for the wicked. I am not wicked, and you have no right to even assume. You shall be built up, and you shall put away iniquity far from your tabernacles. Then shall you lay up gold as dust, and the gold of Ophir as the stones of the brooks. Yea, Al Shaddai shall see your difference, and you shall be plenty of silver. For then shall you have your delight in Al Shaddai, and shall lift up your face unto Eloah. You shall make your prayer unto him, and he shall hear you, and you shall pay your vows. You shall also decree a thing, and it shall establish you unto you. It shall be established unto you, and the light shall shine on your ways. When men are cast down, then you shall say, there is lifting up, and he shall save the humble person. He shall deliver the island of the innocent, and it will be delivered by the pureness of your hands. It's like wow. Then Iyov answered and said, even today is my complaint bitter. My stroke is heavier than my groaning. Oh, that I knew where I might find him, that I might come even to this seat. I would order my cause before him and fill my mouth with arguments. I would know the words which he would answer me, and understand what he would say unto me. Will he plead against me with a great power? No, but he would put strength in me. There the righteous might dispute with him. So should I be delivered forever from my judge. Behold, I go forward, but he is not there, and backward, but I cannot perceive him. On the left hand where he works, but I cannot behold him. He hides himself on the right hand, that I cannot see him. But he knows the way that I take. When he has tried me, I shall come forth as gold. My foot has held his steps. His way have I guarded and not declined, neither have I gone back from the commandment of his lips. I have esteemed the words of his mouth more than my necessary food. But he is on my mind, and who can turn him? And what is his nephesh desires? Even that he does, for he performs the thing that is appointed for me. And many such things are with him. Therefore am I troubled at his presence. Then I consider I am afraid of him, for Alua makes my heart soft, and Al Shaddai troubles me, because I was not cut off before the darkness, neither has he covered the darkness from my face. Why seeing times are not hidden from Al Shaddai? Do they not do they not know him? I'm sorry. Do they that know him not see his days? Some remove the landmarks, they violently take away flocks and feed thereof. They drive away the ass of the fatherless, and they take the widow's ox for a pledge. They turn the needy out of the way, the poor of the earth hide themselves together. And behold, as wild asses in the deserts go they forth to do their work, rising early for a prey. The wilderness yields food for them and for their children. They reap everyone his fodder in a field, and they gather the vintage of the wicked. They cause the naked to lodge without clothing, and they have no covering in the cold. They are wet with the showers of the mountains and embrace the rocks from want of shelter. They pluck the fatherless from the breast, and they take a pledge of the poor. They cause him to go naked without clothing, and they take away the sheaf from the hungry, which make oil within their walls, and tread their wine presses, and suffer thirst. Men groan out of the city, and the soul of the wounded cries out, yet Alua lays not folly to them. They are those that rebel against the light. They know not the ways thereof, nor abide in the paths thereof. The murderer rising with the light kills the poor and the needy, and in the night is a thief. The eye also of the adulterer awaits at twilight, saying, no eye shall see me, and disguises his face. And in the dark they dig through houses, which they had marked for themselves in the daytime. They know not the light, for the morning is to them even as the shadow of death. If one know them, they are in the terror of the shadow of death. He is swift as the waters, their portion is cursed of the earth. He beholds not the way of the vineyard. Drought and heat consume the snow waters, so does Sheol, those who have sinned. The womb shall forget him, the worm shall feed sweetly on him. He shall have no more remembrance, and the wickedness shall be broken as a tree. He evil entreats the barren that bears not, and does not good to the widow. He draws also the mighty with his power. He rises up, and no man is sure of life, though it be given him to be a safety whereon he rests. Yet his eyes are upon their ways. They are exalted for a little while, but are gone and brought low. They are taken out of the way as all other, and they are cut off at the tops of their ears of grain. And if it be not so now, who will make me a liar and make my speech nothing worth? Then answered Bildad, the Shulchi, and said, dominion and fear are with him. He makes Shalom as his high place. Is there any number of his armies, and upon whom that does not have light arise? How then can a man be justified with Alua? Or how can he be clean that is born of a woman? Behold, even the moon, and it shines not. Yea, the stars are not pure in his sight. How much less man, that is a worm, and the son of Adam, which is a worm. How can the stars be unclean and the moon be unclean in his sight when he said it was good? He made these things and said it was good and called it a day, right? Like, that's the fourth day. That's the fourth day that he made. Hold on 1 minute. Charlie, I need to help you. Watch your hands. Watch your thumb at the bottom. Hold on 1 minute. Okay, let it go. Let it go. You can grab the rest off. All right, just leave it there and I'll take care of the rest. Okay, baby? It's my daughter, my little girl. Okay, so, wow, right? Like, what a bold statement to call the creator. I fell. Sorry. To call a creator To say that the creator hates his own creation, like, huh? Huh? But Iyov answered and said, how have you helped him that is without power? How save you the arm that has no strength? How have you counseled him that has no wisdom? And how have you plentiful declared the thing as it is? To whom have you uttered words, and whose ruach came from you? The Raphaim are formed from under the waters, and in its inhabitants thereof. Sheol is naked before him, and Abaddon has no covering. He stretches out the north over the empty place, and hangs the earth upon nothing. He binds up the waters in the thick clouds, and the cloud is not rent under them. He holds back the face of the throne, and spreads his cloud upon it. He has compassed the waters. Can you go in the other room for right now, please? He holds back the face of the throne and speaks his cloud upon it. He has compassed the waters with bounds until the day and night come to an end. The pillars of the Shamayim, the heavens, tremble and are astonished at his reproof. He divides the sea with his power, and by his understanding he smites through the proud. By his ruach he has garnished the Shamayims. His hands are formed, the crooked serpent. Lo, these are parts of his ways, but how little a portion is heard of him. But the thunder of his power, who can understand? Moreover, Iyov continued his parable and said, as Yahweh lives, who has taken away my judgment, and as Al Shaddai, who has vexed my soul, all the while my breath is in me, and the Ruach of Eloah is in my nostrils. My lips shall not speak wickedness, nor my tongue utter deceit. Far be it that I should justify you. Till I die, I will not remove my integrity from me. My righteousness I hold fast, and will not let it go. My heart shall not reproach me so long as I live. Let my enemy be as a wicked, and he that rises up against me as an unrighteous. For what is the hope of a hypocrite, though he has gained, when Alua takes away his nefesh, his soul? Will all hear his cry when trouble comes upon him? Will he delight himself as Al Shaddai? Will he delight himself in Al Shaddai? Will he always call upon Eloah? I will teach you by the hand of all that which is with Al Shaddai. Will I not conceal? Behold, all ye yourselves have seen it. Why then are you thus altogether vain? This is the portion of a wicked man with all, and the heritage of oppressors which shall receive Al Shaddai. If his children be multiplied, it is for the sword, and if his offspring shall be satisfied with bread, those that remain of him shall be buried in death, and his widows shall not weep. Though he heap up silver as the dust, and prepare remnant as the clay, he that prepare it, but the just shall put it on, and the innocent shall divide the silver. He builds his house as a moth, as a sukkah, that the keeper makes. The rich man shall lie down, but he shall not be gathered. He opens his eyes, and he is not. Terrors take hold on him, as waters and tempests steal him away at the night. The east wind carries him away, and he departs, and as a storm hurls him out of his place. For Elohim shall cast upon him, and not spare. He would fain flee out of his hand. Men shall clap their hands at him, and shall hiss him out of his place. Shoo! Surely there is a vein for the silver, and a place of gold where they find it. Iron is taken out of the earth, and brass is molted out of the stone. He sets an end of his darkness, and searches out the perfection. The stones of darkness and the shadow of death. The flood breaks out from the inhabitant. Even the waters forgotten of the foot. They are dried up, and are gone away from men. As for the earth, out comes bread, and under it turned up as it were fire. The stones of it are placed as sapphires, and it has dust of gold. There is a path which no fowl knows, and which the vulture's eye has not seen. The lion's whelps have not trodden it, nor the fierce lion passed by it. He puts forth his hand upon the rock. He overturns the mountains by its roots. He cuts out the rivers among the rocks, and his eyes see every precious thing. He binds the floods from overflowing, and this thing that is hid brings he forth light. But where shall wisdom be found? And where is the place of understanding? Man knows not the place thereof, neither is it not found in the land of the living. The depth says, it is not in me, and the seas say, it is not with me. It cannot be gotten for gold, neither shall silver be weighed for the price of thereof. It cannot be valued with the gold of Ophir, with the precious onyx or the sapphire. The gold and the crystal cannot equal it, and the exchange of it shall not be the jewels of its fine gold. No mention shall be made of its coral or of pearls, though the price of wisdom is above rubies. The topaz of Cush shall not equal it, neither shall it be valued with pure gold. Whence then comes wisdom? And where is the place of understanding? Seeing it is hid from the eyes of all the living, and is kept close from the fowls of the air, Abaddon and in the depths say, we have heard the fame thereof in our ears. Alhim understands the way thereof, and he knows the place thereof. And he looks to the ends of the earth, and sees under the whole Shamayim, the heaven, to make the weight for the winds. And he weighs the waters by measure. When he made a decree of the rain and the way for the lightning and the thunder, then did he see it and declare it. He prepared it, yea, and he searched it out. And unto men he said, behold, the fear of Yahweh, that is wisdom. The fear of Yahweh, it is wisdom. And to depart from evil, and to depart from evil is understanding. And the word also says, if anyone lacks wisdom, ask. Ask Yahweh for his wisdom and for his knowledge. Isn't that what Solomon did? He could have had anything in his kingdom, but he wanted wisdom, because that is better than gold. And that is what Iyov was saying. Moreover, Iyov continued his parable and said, oh, that I were as in months past, as in the days when Allah did guard me, when his candles shine upon my head, and when the light I walk through darkness. And I was in the days of my youth, when the secret Allah was upon my tabernacle, when Al Shaddai was yet with me, when my children were about me, when I washed my steps with butter, and the rock poured me out rivers of oil, when I went out of the gate through the city, when I prepared my seat in the street. The young men saw me and hid themselves, and the aged rose and stood up. The princes refrained talking and laid their hands on their mouth. The nobles held their peace, and their tongue cleaved to the roof of their mouth. When the ear heard me, then it baruched me, blessed. And when the eye saw me, it gave witness to me. Because I delivered the poor that cried, and the fatherless, and him that had none to help him. The baruka of him that was ready to perish came upon me, and I caused the widow's heart to sing for joy. So he's saying to them, I have done these things. And in public sight. I didn't boast about it, but I did it. I was a father to the poor, and the cause which I knew not I searched out. And I broke the jaws of the wicked, and plucked the spoil out of their teeth. Then I said, I shall die in my nest, and I shall multiply my days as the sand. My root was spread out by the waters, and the dew lay all night upon my branch. My glory was fresh in me, and my bow was renewed in my hand. Unto me men gave ear, and waited, and kept silent in my counsel. And after my words they spoke not again, and my speech dropped upon them, and they waited for me as the rain, and they opened their mouth wide as a latter rain. If I laughed on them, they believed it not. If I laughed on them, they believed it not, and the light of my countenance they cast not down. I chose out their way, and sat chief, and dwelt as a king in the army, as one that comforts the mourner. But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I have had disdain to have set with the dogs of my flock. Yea, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished? For want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness in former time desolate and waste, who cut off mallows by the bushes and juniper roots of the meat. They were driven forth from among men. They cried after them after a thief, to dwell them in the cliffs of the valleys and caves of the earth and in the rocks. Among the bushes they brayed, and under the nettles they were gathered together. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were in the earth, and now am I their song, yea, I am their byword. They abhor me, they flee far from me, and they spare not the spit in my face, because he has loosed my cord and afflicted me. They have also let loose the bridle before me. Upon my right hand rise the youth and push away my feet, and they raise up against me the ways of their destruction. They mar my path, they set forward my calamity, and they have no helper. They came upon me in a wide breaking in of waters. In the desolation they rolled themselves upon me. Terrors are turned upon me. They pursue my soul. Hold on. As the wind, and my welfare passes away as a cloud, and now my soul is poured out again, and the days of affliction have taken a hold on me. My bones are pierced within me in the night season, and my sinews take no rest. My great force of my disease is my garment changed. It binds me about in a collar of coat. In the King James Version, in the Septuagint, it says, "My skin is black upon me." That's what it says, black. And by the great force of my disease is my garment changed. It binds me about the collar of my coat. And he cast me into the mire, and I have become like dust and ashes. I cry unto you, and you do not hear me. I stand up, and you regard me not. You have become cruel to me. With your strong hand you oppose yourself against me.